So Daniel Levy's done an exclusive interview with Gary Neville on the Overlap, and I know a lot of you aren't going to want to watch the whole 40-minute thing, so here's a quick summary of basically everything important that he said. A lot of questions around Daniel Levy and his involvement in the footballing side of things at Spurs over the last couple of months, and basically come out and said that he doesn't get involved in any of the footballing side of things these days. Obviously, a lot of the talk was around money and spending as well, because it's one of the biggest things that Daniel Levy comes under criticism for, and he has taken the stance that clubs cannot continue overspending. This is a shot at like Chelsea, who are spending a ridiculous amount. I've signed like 50 players in the last 4 years, but it also kind of comes across as a bit of an excuse as to why Spurs aren't really bringing as many players in as other clubs around them. He did actually also say that winning the Europa League was the best night of his life as Tottenham chairman, which is an interesting one considering the role he's had in making the new stadium, the Champions League final. Then he immediately went on to say that he had to sack Ange Postecoglou, and it also wasn't just down to him, but other technical directors on the Tottenham board that helped advise him on the decision. Basically, he's towed the line again that he said at the end of last season, is that he wants to win the Premier League, and he didn't feel like the performance in the league last year under Ange was good enough. And to him, it also suggested that he wasn't worthy of keeping his job for that reason, rather than actually winning silverware for the first time in 17 years. He also said that he wants to support Thomas Frank and help him win the Premier League as soon as possible. I mean, if that's the case, Daniel, then you really need to get a shift on in this transfer market. Otherwise, we are going to be nowhere near our rivals this season. He's also kind of been a bit defensive in his stance around how Tottenham have become such a big club over the last couple of years, in terms of he hasn't had like Saudi or outside companies pumping millions into the club. We've done it all for ourselves, for our revenues. For that reason, at the very end, he says that he'll only get credit for being Tottenham chairman when he leaves, which is a very, very interesting thing to say considering all of the protests that have been going on for the last year or so. Overall conclusion from this is, although we like to hear from Daniel Levy every now and again just to understand how he's thinking, I'm not entirely sure that this interview is going to go down particularly well among the Spurs fan base.